This is Ray, once again, from TeenageMutantNinjaTurtles.com. We're so happy that
Woohoo!
you could be with us today. Yes. And we're going to be conducting an interview to be able to understand the main voice actress of April O'Neil from the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series.
I'm excited.
As we are too. First, we would like to get to know, how did you come to get involved with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles television series? And what was your process in regards to getting the cast of the role for April O'Neil?
Well, I had been doing voiceover in Los Angeles for a number of years, and just like I think every woman in Los Angeles got a call to audition for this unusual show no one had ever heard of, this comic book, and everybody was like, what? Teenage Mutant what? Anyway, we all showed up at the interview, and the director was a man by the name of Stu Rosen. And I saw everyone in that waiting room I ever knew in voiceover. So we all waited our turn and went in and auditioned. And I went in, and Stu directed me, and it was a long audition, and when I was done, that was that. So not long after that, I got a call from my agent, and he said, you got that role. I said, what role? What are you talking about? He says, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I said, you're kidding. Okay. So the funny thing was that I got the role, I went in for the first day of rehearsal, and Stu turned to me and he said, I didn't like you for this role. Really? Thanks for telling me, Stu. He said, no, I played them, everyone in town, because I just didn't think you were right. Well, okay, but here I am, I've got the role. He said, well, everyone I played, the producers said, no, that's not April. That's not April. And finally, I was out of people to show them, so I pulled your audition out, and I played it for them, and they said, that's April. So you got the role. Well, thanks for telling me, Stu. So that's my, I hope that's the answer to that question.
Well, it's definitely a good answer, and us and millions of other people are going to be more delighted that you played April O'Neil, so Stu was wrong in this case.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, I guess this is kind of a related question, but how did you come up with the voice for the character when you were doing your audition? Was there any type of research you did for the role?
Well, no one had ever heard of the Ninja Turtles, and I know it's hard to believe, but back in the day when we started auditioning for Ninja Turtles, there was no internet. There was no computer that could get us any information. If you wanted to look up information, you had to go to the library. So having the Ninja Turtles as a resource really wasn't there for me. I wasn't familiar with them. But obviously, there was a very good character description of her. So I looked at that, and I kind of built her based on me. I felt that she should be a very strong character with very good convictions. She should be a loyal friend. She should be serious about her work, that she wanted to be taken seriously, not just looked at as another pretty face. Mm-hmm. So I kind of developed, as I was waiting, kind of pictured in my mind this news reporter who was young, who had a lot to prove, and really wanted to get it right. So that's how I kind of came up with the heart and soul of who she should be. And most of the time when I was doing voiceover work, it was always some kind of crazy, funny voice, like, Munchkin voices or My Pretty Pony or any number of those little tiny voices. So this was really one of the first voices I ever did where it was a straight voice, a real character, a real person versus some kind of crazy little made-up fantasy character.
Yes, that's interesting, and definitely you did a good job in portraying that because with April O'Neil in the show, we definitely understood that she was an independent woman, and you did a good job at being a friend to our loyal, beloved Ninja Turtles.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the next thing is there anything you would like more about voice acting than stage acting, or vice versa?
You know what? I am passionate about any kind of acting that I have the opportunity to do. The big advantage of doing voiceover work is you can look any way you look. I'm sure most of you haven't seen me in person. I'm 4'10" and not statuesque and live, and so I could come into a voiceover audition and be who I am and be creative and get the part based on my talent, not based on my looks. And that I appreciated very much. It also was a lot of work, a lot of energy, because you have to create that character with your voice. It's just a two-dimensional character. If you're lucky, you get 3D, but it's the voice and the energy that the actor puts into it that lifts that character off the page. So I love doing voiceover. I absolutely love doing theater. So it's hard to say which one I love better. They're both different and both exciting and wonderful.
Absolutely. Now, can you tell us more about the day-to-day process in regards to what went into your part?
Do you mean more like what the recording experience was about, and how the process of how we recorded the show? Is that what you mean?
Yes, like were you in a booth with with all the other voice actors, or was it just you individually? Were you kicking and jumping while you're doing your voice line?
Oh, that's funny. Well, we were all in the recording studio together. It was made very clear that that's what they wanted to have done, and that we were not to take other jobs or think that we could schedule a individual recording session, that we were to be at the studio, wherever that studio was, and ready to go as a team, as a cast. And so that's what we did. It was very rare that any of the cast members were absent during the recording. We would get there, we would get our scripts, we'd have time to read them over and underline them and highlight them, and then we would do a run-through, and that would take a couple of hours. And then we would take a little break, and then we would record. And we would record as many of the lines in a row as we could. Then sometimes the director, Sue Blue, would stop us and say, hey, I want you to do it this way, or tone it down, or a line would be blown, or someone would throw in an ad-lib and they'd say, hey, get back to the script, or yeah, that was great, let's keep going. It usually took about 2 to 4 hours, just depending. And then we would go on to the next script either the next day or the next week.
Wow. That's always a good way, to keep good teamwork, when you guys were doing your voice acting together in the studio.
Yeah, I really loved it. It was great for camaraderie and relationship. And we played off each other. Many of the lines that you hear on the show were made up by the guys. There was a lot of ad-libbing, and it really brought a lot to the script. And it would have been hard to do that if we hadn't been there together.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are your thoughts on the new Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series? Have you had a chance to see it?
I've seen a few of the episodes. I think that it's a lot of fun. Would I like us all to be on that show? Yes, I would like all the original voices. I personally love the voices that our cast did, and it's hard to hear other voices doing those characters on a personal level, but I think the show's really well done, and I'm very excited that it's bringing Ninja Turtles to a whole new audience. It really is an amazing property that it can just bridge these generations. You're talking about Turtles starting 25 years ago. And as passionate as the fans are who have grown up with Turtles, a whole new generation is starting to fall in love with the Turtles again. And you just can't ask for anything more than that.
You're absolutely right. We agree with you on all aspects because there's so many younger people that now are getting to know these Ninja Turtles, and it's great to see these generations being bridged together.
It is. In fact, I have a lot of fans on Facebook, and I hear from some of them that, some of the guys who are now fathers, and they've introduced their children to the old school Ninja Turtles, and they're watching the new episodes together. I mean, it kind of gives you chills. How often do you get a chance to share your childhood passion and excitement with your children, and that they can relate to it as well?
Exactly.
I don't know if, I don't see, My Pretty Pony or maybe some of them, but people don't seem to be as passionate about those shows, those animated shows, as they were about Ninja Turtles.
You're absolutely right. Now, do you approve of Michael Bay's upcoming Ninja Turtles movie cast and the new animated CGI approach?
That is a very interesting question. So I have heard from a lot of fans, and they're not real happy about it. In my personal opinion, I'm excited that there's anything out there that continues to promote the Ninja Turtles. There's got to be a reason why they are setting the Turtles in the setting they have and casting it the way they're casting it. Everyone wants a successful film. They want to make money. They want it to be good. They don't want it to be a failure. So I have to put my trust in what they're doing and know that whatever they do, it's going to promote Turtles, and it's going to continue to make the characters popular. It's buzz, it's talk, good, bad. The public will have to decide. It's none of my business what they're doing with it.
This is
I don't know if that made sense.
What are your thoughts on Megan Fox becoming the new April O'Neil?
Okay, good question. I've been asked that a number of times. And I think my answer would have to be that, again, they've cast her for a reason. They think she'll be successful in the role. They think that she will help promote the film and make it a box office success. And I hope that's the case. I would hope, but I would hope that Megan would look at this character not as a sex symbol, or not only as a sex symbol, if that's the way they're going to take it, but make her a role model for young women out there,